Just come into mountain pose to start. You can have your feet separated, you can close your eyes. And just start to take some deep breaths and let go of your day. Let go of any tension in your body, any thoughts in your head. With every exhale, let it go. Come into this present moment. No one's needing anything from you. This next hour is yours. Into that ujjayi breath, that deep ocean-sounding breath. Imagine that your nostrils are there at your collarbones, and you're breathing in from the base of the throat, creating that sound. It's a bit of a restriction in the throat. Make sure shoulders are relaxed. Take 3 more deep breaths. After that 3rd breath, you can blink your eyes open and bring your feet together to touch, setting up for our breathing exercise that we begin with, our pranayama. You'll interlace all 10 fingers, place them under your chin, thumbs gently press into your throat, and draw your elbows towards one another in front of you. And then begin your inhale slowly, drawing in air, filling the lungs, elbows separate, and your forearms come up to frame the face. And then we'll tilt the head back and exhale through a wide open mouth like you're fogging up a mirror on the ceiling. Elbows draw back together to touch in front of you. And then inhale, keep the arms up, keep the elbows up, just start to separate them as you bring your gaze back forward right in front of you. Last sip. And then head goes back, exhale through an open mouth. Nice forceful exhale, get out all that stale air. Elbows touch in front, and then inhale, separate the elbows slowly. Head comes back down. Last sip here. And then exhale, head goes back. Squeeze the belly in, really get all that air out. And then inhale slowly, really fill the lungs. Feel that stretch in the lungs. Last sip. And then head back. Exhale more to be able to inhale more. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Nice and slow movement, matching that nice slow breath. Exhale, head goes back. Elbows come back to touch in front. And then last one, inhale, separate the elbows. Gaze comes back forward. Exhale. Good. Bring your arms to your side, mountain posture. Take a breath. And then we'll inhale our arms up, interlace the fingers, and release your index fingers. And tick-tock, side to side, getting ready for half moon. So we want to stretch both sides of the body. Work into the hips a bit. Once you've evened out both sides, come back to the center. Inhale, look up at your hands, lift the arms up, and exhale, reach back. Take a little back bend. And then inhale back up, and exhale, fold forward. Once you're down there, you can pedal out the heels, you can hang in ragdoll, you can separate the feet. If you want to take a quick flow, you can take a quick flow or down dog, whatever feels good. We'll take about 5 breaths into it. And release your grip, bring your arms out in front, interlace the fingers again, release the index fingers, and rise back up with a flat back, biceps to the ears. So we're setting straight into our first set of Ardha Chandrasana. So inhale, reach the arms up, lift and lengthen, and exhale over to your right. Bump your left hip towards me. Keep your shoulders and hips squared to the front of your mat. And keep breathing. Keep the weight back in the heels. Keep your belly engaged to hold you in place here. Arms really strong, palms squeezed together. Last breath. So see if you can't make a little more room in the spine. Go a little deeper into the posture. And then inhale back to center. Stretch and exhale over to the other side. So you want to flatten your body out from the side. So shoulders and hips are squared to the front of your mat. It's like you're pressed between two panes of glass. Really rooting down through the feet and creating a real strength in the legs. Your quads are engaged, kneecaps slide up the legs. Belly is tight to hold you in place here. One more breath. See if you can't go a little deeper. Good. And then inhale back up to center. Look up at your hands. Inhale, lift your chest, reach up, and exhale, reach back. Really try to drop the head back, press the hips forward, lift through the chest, reach back with those arms. And inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold forward. You can pedal out your heels again, loosen up that low back after your back bend. And then we're going to take a big bend in the knees, glue your chest down on top of your thighs. Reach around, scoop up your heels from behind if you can. If not, just grab your ankles or your calves. And then inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, fold. Using your grip to help you fold, help slide the torso down the legs a little bit. Let your head hang heavy. If you're cupping the heels behind you, you really want to try to hide those forearms behind the legs, pinch the elbows towards one another, lift through the hips a little more. And then we'll release that grip. Grip out in front of you again, biceps to the ears, and rise back up with a flat back. Exhale, arms to your side. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. Good. Setting up for our second set. Isn't as long as first set. Inhale, arms up. Find that same grip. Glue your palms together, biceps to the ears, or maybe even pulling those arms back a little more. And exhale over to the right. Equal weight in both feet. Legs engaged, toning your thighs, toning your hips. Hips. There you go. One more breath. And then inhale, back up. Lengthen, exhale over to the other side. Working to improve our posture here. Yes, this way. One more breath. Inhale back up. Look up at your hands. And we'll inhale, lift, reach, and exhale, go back. Inhale back up. Exhale, fold forward. Pedal out your heels. Loosen up the low back. And then bend the knees, glue your chest down on top of your thighs, and reach back for your grip. Whatever grip you had in the first set. And inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, pull with your grip. Slide the body down the legs. Let your head hang heavy, like an apple on a tree. Maybe shake your head yes or no. Make sure there's no tension in your neck. Maybe shake out any thoughts that have begun to creep into your practice. Inhale. You'll release your grip. Arms come out in front. And rise back up with a flat back. A soft bend in the knees. Exhale your hands down. Big exhale, let it go. We'll separate our feet hip width apart. Toes pointed straight forward for Utkatasana. It's a 3-part posture, so we bring our arms straight out in front of us, and they stay there for all 3 parts of this. Take an inhale, and then exhale, take a seat. Lower the hips. You'll reach forward just a bit to counterbalance however low you're coming down in the hips. So the lower you come, the more you'll have to reach forward. Pulling the chest forward, shoulders back. Let's inhale, come up and onto the toes. Once you feel balanced, go ahead and start sliding down an imaginary wall. So now in the second and third part, we want to keep our upper body back, our shoulders stacked over our hips, and really work on the feet. Focus on the feet. Get the heels lifted. Good. Don't lean back so much. There you go. Now you can probably lift heels a little more. Go ahead and rise. Drop your heels. Keep your arms strong. Bring the heels up just a bit so that you can pinch the knees together firmly. Zipper up the thighs, and then you're going to slide back down your imaginary wall. Allow the heels to lift so that you can possibly come to a hover over your heels, if that feels okay, on the knees. Keep the upper body back. And then slowly rise with control. Exhale, arms to your side. Take a breath. Second set, feet hip width apart. Inhale your arms straight out in front of you. Exhale, take your seat. Keep the low belly tight, chest lifted, but do allow yourself to lean forward a bit. We've got that curve in the lower back that we want to keep here. You don't need to stack shoulders over hips just yet. Slowly rise. Come up onto your toes now. And then exhale, slide down that wall. So don't worry about how low you can lower your hips in the second part. Worry more about getting those heels up high. Drive those heels forward. Work all the muscles in the feet and in the ankles. And then we'll slowly rise. Drop your heels. Keep your arms strong. Last part here. Bring those heels up just a bit to pinch the knees together. And then slowly lower down. Heels come up just a bit so that you can come to a hover over those heels someday. So you don't have to lift them that high until you're kind of sitting on them. Keep the knees lower than the hips though. And then slowly rise, release. Big inhale, big exhale, let it go. All right, feet together, moving into eagle. Inhale your arms up. Identify your right arm and exhale, swing it under the left. You can modify by just grabbing opposite shoulders or cross your elbows, cross your wrists, palms touch, thumbs towards you. And then take a seat, sink your hips low, inhale that right leg up and cross it over the left. You can keep the right toes down on the mat if you need a little kickstand. If balance is hard, but you're still squeezing the thighs together, twisting the arms, pulling elbows down, broaden the chest, relax the shoulders. Keep the upper body back. Sink the hips a little lower. Last breath here. And then we'll release on the inhale. Reach your arms up. Exhale, hands down. And then other side, left side. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, left arm under. The camera was way off there. Everybody's head was cut off. Sit down and then left leg up and over. Squeeze everything tight here. We're working on our joint health. We're improving mobility there, flexibility in the major joints of the body. Keep your upper body back. Sink your hips lower. Get that compression in the hips as well. Last breath. And then inhale, release. Right into second set. Right arm will swing under. And then sink the hips and bring your right leg up and over. You're going to pull the elbows down and broaden the chest to release tension in the neck and shoulders. This is good if you're prone to tension headaches. This is a good way to release that tension in the neck and shoulders. Squeeze tight, last breath. And we'll inhale, release right into the left side. Left arm swings under. And then sink your hips, left leg up and over. Restricting blood flow to the major parts of the body here so that when you release, then you flood the body with fresh oxygen. Go ahead and release. Inhale and exhale, arms to your side. Take a breath. You can take a sip of water if you need to. Make sure I got that right. We'll be moving into our balancing postures next. Eagle got us ready for being on one foot. So standing forehead to knee, you're going to shift the weight into your left foot and just inhale your right knee up to start. Remember, the first set of the balancing postures we hold for a while. So take your time. You flex your right foot. See how your balance feels on this side. If you're a little wobbly already, stay here and work on that balance. If you feel sturdy, then reach for your grip. Trying to get all 10 fingers interlaced under your foot someday. That everyone keeps the right foot flexed, standing leg straight. And you can begin to kick into your grip. One day when both legs are straight, then making a forehead to knee connection. Keep the right toes flexed back towards you. Keep pressing into that left big toe. Last breath. And release. Shift the weight over to your right foot and inhale your left knee up. Taking a couple breaths here to see how your balance is on this side, because balance is very different from one side to the other, and it changes from day to day or even time of day. So if you're feeling sturdy and stable, then move into it however you did on the other side. Staying connected with that breath, trying to find a focal point in front of you, something that's not moving to help hold you in place. Last breath. And release. Take a breath. So in second set, we try to go further. So for you, maybe that just means lifting the knee higher in second set. So shift the weight to your left foot and inhale your right knee up, going to wherever you were in the first set. Move with your breath though. Maybe exhale for your grip. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, kick. And keep in mind too, it's fine to hold the knee and work on the flexibility of your hip if that's what you're wanting to go for. If you release your grip and keep your knee up with your strength, then you're working on hip flexor strength instead. So it's whatever you need here in this posture. Go ahead and release your right foot down. Coming into it on the other side. Inhale, left knee up. Exhale for your grip. Inhale, pull back up. Exhale, give it a kick. Keep the standing leg really strong. Go ahead and release. Take a big inhale. Big exhale. All right. So standing bow, this next one, you feel free to turn and face a wall if you need to for balance. You're gonna bring your right elbow in, palms up like you're holding a tray of food. And then just drop that hand back for the inside of your right ankle and try to glue all 5 fingers together. And inhale, left arm up. Exhale, begin to kick into your grip. And beginning to, it is okay if you need to hold on the outside of your ankle, if that helps get that grip a little bit better. But once you are able to grab the inside of your ankle, then you're getting a nice outward rotation of your arm, nice pull, nice stretch in the shoulder. Last couple breaths if you want to see how much higher you can kick, how much more you had in you. And release. Go ahead, bring your left elbow in, drop that hand back for your grip. Inhale the right arm to the side of the head and exhale, kick back into your grip. You want to try to have your knee go straight back behind you. So feel that back bend happening, that big kick. Try to get your heel away from your glute a little more. Point the toes. That leg is really active as it's kicking. The more you kick, the more you reach to counterbalance. Last couple breaths. See if you can't kick a little more. Reach a little further. And release. Good job. Take a nice deep breath. Second set. Right elbow in. Reach back for your grip. And then inhale, left arm up to the side of the head. Exhale, kick. Let the kick guide you here. Don't start hinging at the waist and trying to bring your upper body down. You'll get there someday. Because you're kicking so high, you have to bring the torso down to counterbalance. But don't start hinging forward and missing out on that back bend. It'll mess up your balance anyway and cause you to fall out. Go ahead and release. And we'll bring left elbow in, reach back for your grip. Inhale, right arm up, and exhale, kick. So your right arm will stay to the side of the head and chest stays lifted until one day you're kicking so hard and your torso has come down. Then your palm faces the ground, chin to shoulder, really reaching and kicking. Go ahead and release. Good job. Take a breath. We'll meet at the back of our mat for Tula Dandasana, balancing stick. Inhale, arms up, interlace your fingers, release the index fingers, and then exhale, giant step out with the right foot, bring your torso down and that left leg up. Point the leg, both legs are really active. Roll the left inner thigh up towards the ceiling to get that left hip bumped down in line with the right, and then step it back. Inhale, keep your arms up. Inhale, exhale, left foot forward, body down, leg up. You're trying to reach in opposite directions. You're reaching your arms for the mirror. You're reaching your right leg back behind you as you're lifting it. And release, step it back. Exhale your arms down now. Take a nice deep round of breath. Feel your heart pumping. Second set. Inhale your arms up, find that grip, glue your biceps to your ears, and then exhale, right foot, body down, leg up. Imagine someone's playing human tug of war with your body. Keep that left hip down and step it back. Inhale up, exhale, back down. This is really getting our heart rate up. This is good cardiovascular work here for you. Sending a fresh surge of oxygen to your heart and lungs. Step it back. Exhale your hands down to your side. Take a big breath. Notice your heart rate. We'll take a quarter turn to the left, setting up for our wide leg stretch and triangle. So inhale your arms up and then exhale, giant step out to the right. You want your feet right below your wrists, toes slightly inward, the arms parallel to your mat. And then inhale, lengthen, exhale, hinge at the waist, fold forward. When you can't fold anymore, we're finding a grip. So if you can, reach behind your heels. If you can't get there, grab your ankles or your calves. Then maybe take another inhale to lengthen with your grip, and then exhale, use your grip to fold, getting your torso a little closer to your legs. Keeping a nice long spine. So you want to think about reaching the chest forward as you're hinging at the waist. Pull those shoulders back. Weight is forward in the feet. Go ahead and release your grip. Bring your arms out parallel to your mat again. And then inhale all the way up. Turn your right toes towards the front of your mat, bending into that front knee, coming into a warrior two just to set up for our triangle. Flip your palms, rotate your arms. Don't bend at the waist to reach forward though. So it's okay, you don't have to bend the knee much. So if you're not bending the knee much, then you're not going to come down as low. Does that make sense? To get the fingertips closer to the toes, that happens because you are taking a really low lunge. And if you need to, you can also rest your elbow on your knee. That left arm reaching straight 12. You are reaching arms in opposite directions. You're pushing into that back heel, activating the inner thighs by energetically drawing feet towards one another. Then you inhale, back up, turn your right toes in, left toes towards the back. Big bend in that left knee. Set up, nice strong warrior position, and then flip your palms, rotate your arms, come down into that triangle. Make sure your left knee is not coming inward, tracking. You want to keep that tracking towards the second toe. So you feel a stretch in the hips here. You are working hard. This is the pinnacle posture. So you definitely need to keep breathing, stay connected with that breath because your body needs a lot of oxygen when it's working hard, but also that's the way to clear your mind. Stay connected to your breath. Inhale back up, turn your left toes in, and we'll go straight into second set of wide leg stretch. So make sure toes are pointed slightly inward, or at the very least, the outer edge of your foot is parallel to the sides of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge forward. Swan dive forward. Lead with your chest to come down and then find that grip. I'm going to make sure you're rocking the weight forward towards the balls of the feet. You're engaging your quads to release the hamstrings, engaging your low belly to release. Go ahead and bring your arms back out parallel to your mat. Pause here. Inhale, slowly come back up to standing. Turn your right toes towards the front again. Nice wide stance here. Maybe you're going to come down a little lower in second set because it's not as long. Bend into the knee, flip your palms, rotate your arms. Maybe use a little pressure from your right arm into your right knee. That from inward. Go ahead and inhale, come back up, turn your right toes in and your left toes towards the back. Bend into the left knee. Set up here and then flip your palms, rotate your arms. Again, this is one of those postures where you're wanting to flatten yourself out from the side. So maybe think about pressing the hips a little more forward, rolling the right ribs back a little more. Inhale up, turn your left toes in, and then we'll inhale, right foot meets the left, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to your side, take a breath. We'll take a quarter turn back towards the mirror. Setting up for separate leg, forehead to knee. You're going to step about halfway down your mat with your right foot. Turn that back foot 45 degrees. And we want to make sure left hip is bumped forward. So you might find it helpful to step that left foot out just a little wider. Inhale, arms up. Press the palms together, cross the thumbs, and then exhale, chin to chest, round the shoulders, round the entire spine over that front leg. When you can't go any further, bend into that front knee and make a forehead to knee connection. Keep that left hip forward. Hands can separate if you need help with balance. Just keep them out in front of you though. Breathing's a little tricky, a little difficult with this much compression in the front side of the body. We'll bring hands back together, press into the front foot and round yourself back up. Nice and slow. You can step that right foot back, left foot forward, set up on this side. So get the right hip pulled forward now, maybe stepping right foot out a little wider. Square up the hips and then inhale. Long spine, reach up, exhale, chin to chest, round yourself forward over that front leg, and then bend the knee as much as you need to get forehead to knee connection. We'll bring hands back together, push into the front foot, come back up slowly, and you can step forward or back, doesn't matter. Feet together. Exhale your arms to your side. And then we'll come into our last standing posture, tree. So you're going to shift your weight to your left foot and bring your right leg up. The goal is to bring that leg into half lotus. If you can't do that, you can bring the foot to the inside of that left leg. But to bring it to half lotus, make sure I like to bring my knee straight up so my knee is locked in place, and then I only rotate from the hip. So you shouldn't feel anything in your knee. If you do, come out, try again. If you still do, leave it alone, just modify. You can hold under that foot like a bicep curl with your left hand. Yep, and you can even hold on to that knee if you need to, otherwise let it drop. We're trying to lengthen our hip flexors there on the right side, so it can be helpful to flex that right glute to release the hip flexors. Last breath before we move into toe stand. So to move into toe stand, bend your standing leg and lean forward. That's all you have to do to start. Maybe you're feeling like you can reach for the mat. If so, then go ahead and bend into the left knee and sit on your heel. Work. Thanks for trying. Yeah. Sitting back on your heel and pushing the knees away from you. So a lot of people, I think, are afraid to try this one. You can only do this if you have your leg in half lotus, but I think a lot of people are afraid to try this one, mostly because getting up is difficult, but it's okay to just like sit down to get out of it and then get back up. Anyway, we'll rise back up, release your tree. And I'll give everybody a chance to do double toe stand here on this side. So coming into your tree. Whatever you did on the other side, you want to try to do that here as well. But just notice the difference from one side to the next. With balance, we already said that balance is different from one side to the next, but especially hips too. Hips can be a very tricky thing. So breathe. Try to lengthen the front of that left hip. Remember, a little engagement in that left glute can help there. Last breath. And then you can move into your toe stand. So bend the standing leg and lean forward. Then you're at least getting more of a stretch in the hip. If you would like to come down into double toe stand, now you can come up so that you're sitting on your heels. Lift the heels very high. Push the knees down so your thighs are parallel to your mat. Grip the mat with your toes. So then at least here you're getting the benefits in your feet that you would have gotten in toe stand. And it's another type of challenge for our balance as well. Go ahead and release. Come back up to standing. Let's take 3 big cleansing breaths together. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, big inhale. Exhale it out. Last one. Inhale. Big exhale, let it go. Come down into your mid shavasana. So head towards the mirror. Laying on your back. If you need to grab a quick sip of water, now's a good time to do it. Otherwise, try to settle down into your mid shavasana quickly. We aren't here too long. We just want to reconnect with the breath if we've lost it. Calm the mind, let go of tension, let go of thoughts. Moving into our next posture, Pavanamuktasana. You can bring your right knee up. Interlace all 10 fingers around that knee and pull it in towards your right shoulder. You want to pull it off to the side of it to avoid the rib cage. Relax your feet. Go ahead and release that leg to the ground. Bring your left knee in. Pull it in towards that left shoulder, like you're going to tuck it into your armpit. Go ahead and release it down. Bring both knees in and give yourself a big hug. So our goal is to one day grab opposite elbows if you can. If not, you're just going to grab opposite forearms, wrists, fingertips, maybe one knee in each hand. That your ankles stay uncrossed. Your chin is slightly tucked so that you're lengthening the back of the neck. You're hugging the knees in really tight here. And giving your digestive system a nice massage. You point the toes down towards the mat. Push your knees into your grip, but don't let them separate away from your chest because you're hugging them in so tight. You just feel the lumbar release to the mat. So your spine is nice and long. Go ahead and release the legs down. We're going to do a transitional sit up. So you want to flex your feet. Your arms come up above to the side of the head, palms facing the ceiling, thumbs are crossed, and it's a big inhale to lengthen and sit up, and then double exhale that sounds like shh, shh, to reach for your feet. So big inhale, lengthen, sit up, and then shh, shh. Good. Take a couple breaths here in a forward fold. Let your head hang. And then we'll go ahead and roll over onto our mat for our spinal strengthening postures. So Bhujangasana Cobra, you want to zipper up your legs like you have a tail. And you're driving the low body down to lift the upper body. So press the tops of the feet into the mat. Press your hip bones down into the mat. Exhale, and then inhale. Lift your upper body up with just your low back muscles. Your hands are just there for support. Slide your hands back a little closer to your waist. You want a 90-degree angle in the elbows, and then draw those elbows towards one another behind you. Good. Go ahead and release. Right ear to the mat, hands to your side. Take a breath. Chin to the mat for second set. You want to think about having a nice, strong, low body pressed down into the mat. Exhale, inhale, come up. You put a little bit of pressure in your hands here, but keep working the low back. Maybe even press your low belly down into the mat to see if you can't lift up a little bit more. Look up and release. Left ear to the mat, hands to your side. Chin to the mat. For half locust, you're going to roll your arms under you. Palms are touching your mat, and you're laying on your wrists, maybe your forearms. Relax your left leg and inhale your right leg up. Reach it up high and reach it back like you're going to touch the doorknob on that closet. Reach it up and back. And then let's pulse for 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Left leg, inhale it up. Nice, strong, straight leg. Don't push into the right leg to lift the left. Don't roll your left hip up to lift the leg. Pulse for 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Face comes down into your mat now to lift both legs up at the same time. You might want to bring your fingertips a little closer to your knees. Push your shoulders down. Then inhale those legs up, lift them up, squeeze them together, straighten them out. They might not get up as high, but you'll build more strength. Squeeze them together, lift them up. Good. Bring your legs back down, arms out from under you. You all looks really good. It's hard to see when your face is down in your mat. Your nose is being squished and you have no sense of what's going on behind you, but you all look good. All right, full locust. So we're lifting both upper and lower body now. So arms come out like airplane wings. Exhale. Inhale, lift everything up. We still want to try to squeeze the legs together and keep them straight. Arms are slightly back behind you, so stretching into the chest and shoulders, lifting up nice and high, looking up. Beautiful. And then release down, opposite ear to the mat. Second set. Chin to the mat, arms out. Or I like to take a clasp behind me sometimes for this one too, if you want to grip your hands behind you. Exhale, and then inhale, lift everything up. And if you have a grip behind you, imagine that you're pulling yourself up and back, lifting up. Try to lift the legs a little higher here, and the shoulders and chest a little more. And release, opposite ear to the mat. Next is floor bow. You're going to bring your chin back to the mat, bend your knees, and reach back for the outside of your feet, just below your toes. Exhale, inhale, kick. Can you do one leg at a time? I can also get you a strap sometime. Trying to make a teardrop shape with the body. And release. No, you can, the knees will separate when you come up. You don't want them to separate too much, though. You want to keep them about hip width apart. And you are trying to get the knees off the mat someday, too. Okay, second set, chin to the mat. Exhale with your grip, and then inhale, come up. You can grab my wrists. There you go. So looking up. Give it a good kick. Lift those knees a little higher. And release. Whew. Those postures are so hard. Yeah. All right. So we'll come up to the middle of our mat now for fixed firm. So here's where if you need your block to sit on or a towel behind the legs or ankles, you're going to come forward onto hands and knees so that you can separate your feet behind you, trying to sink your hips down to your mat between your feet. If your hips are down, then you're going to come down onto your elbows, tuck your tailbone under, lengthen the quads, and then maybe come down onto your shoulders, grab opposite elbows above you. If your hips aren't down, you're just going to lean into it. Breathe into it. You can keep your knees separated, hip width apart too. That can make it a little more accessible or feel better. Just know that one day then when you're all the way back, last part of this posture is to bring those knees back together to touch. So, are your ankles okay? Okay. Two more breaths. And then you're going to come out the same way you went in, one elbow at a time, one hand at a time. You can remove your block or whatever you had to the side, and then sitting on your heels, setting up for half tortoise. Inhale your arms up, press your palms together, cross your thumbs, and exhale, come down, reaching those arms straight out in front of you. Get your forehead to the mat. Knife edge of the pinkies on the mat, and that's all that's touching because your arms are really strong. So go ahead and get your forehead to the mat. It's okay if knees have to come up. If knees came up, but they're not too far away from your heels, maybe separate your hands and press into your palms. See if you can't get those hips back a little bit, and then bring palms back together. Really extend the arms. On your next inhale, engage your low belly and come up with control, trying to keep those hips low. Keep the arms up as you come up. And then exhale your hands down. Take a nice deep breath. Come up to a kneeling posture here with your knees right under your hips. Hands to your low back, fingers pointing down. Draw your elbows towards one another behind you. Inhale, lift your gaze, lift your chest, and then exhale, start to look back. Try to keep your hips forward. If you can really see the wall behind you, you can try reaching down for your heels. Keep the hips pressed forward. Slowly come back up, hands to low back for support. Take a seat on your heels, take a breath. That's an intense back bend. Second set, back up on the knees. Knees can be a little wider in second set. Hands to the low back again. Inhale, lift up, look up, and exhale, go back. Breathing is tough in a back bend. Your heart rate goes up. Just stick with it. So many benefits here. Hands back to your low back and come up slowly. Sitting on your heels again. Take a breath. Bring your knees together, and we're going to round forward, counterbalance that big back bend. So you're going to reach down for your heels. And then tuck your chin to your chest, round yourself forward. Now get a good grip on the heels. And you're going to lift your hips up. So you want to get your forehead down on your knees or close to your knees on the mat, and then lift the hips with your grip. So rounding forward. As you're rounding, your hips lift. Rotate your arm this way. Tuck the chin, really round forward. And then we'll slowly come back up to a seat on our heels. What is with that piece of hair, Jolie? She keeps having to blow it out. All right. So let's take a seat on our mat. Right leg out, left foot in. Inhale your arms up, make a basket with the hands, and then exhale over that leg. Place your basket on the bottom of the foot. So bend your knee as much as you need to grab your foot and tuck your chin. Place your forehead on top of your knee. So we're going for that compression of our chin tucked. We're massaging our thyroid, our parathyroid. We're massaging our internal organs in our abdomen here on the right side. Then if that right leg is straight, you're also getting a stretch. You can pull back on the foot, flex that foot, feel the stretch in that leg. Go ahead and inhale back up, and we'll switch. Left leg will come out and right foot will go in. And then inhale your arms up, clasp the hands together, and exhale over that leg. Grab your foot, forehead to knee connection. Go ahead and inhale back up. And send both legs out in front of you. Probably want to walk your hips back under you a little bit so you're leaning forward already. And then we'll grab big toes with the two peace fingers. Bend your knees if you need to. And then inhale, long spine again, leading with the chest. Hinge forward. And then relax your head. Try to press equally into both feet so that the inside of the feet don't come back towards you. We'll slowly come back up. And let's bring the feet together for butterfly. And open the feet up like a book. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, hinge forward. Go ahead and inhale back up, and we're going to come into our twist. So you're going to take that left leg under and your right foot over. The left leg can stay straight if you need it to. So left leg is underneath and the right foot crosses over. And you want your ankle and knee in line here with one another. Right hand helps you sit up really tall. Left arm reaches up on the inhale, and then exhale, twist. Looking as far over the right shoulder as you can. Grab for the knee in front of you. There you go. Inhales, you sit up really tall, and your exhales take you down and around. One more breath. Release, and we'll switch. So right leg will go under now, and left foot crosses over. Left hand will help you sit up really tall. And then inhale the right, left hand goes down. And then right arm comes up. There you go. And then exhale. Come into your twist. So if you're able to grab the knee in front of you, then you can really use that traction to help you twist. Press your arm into your leg, working with your breath. One more breath. And we'll release. So come to a seat on your heels if that's okay on your knees and ankles. If not, you can just sit crisscross. You want to be able to sit up really tall though. For our last breathing exercise, Kapalabhati. It's a big inhale to start and then several forceful exhales that sound like that snap the belly in and out. The inhales just take care of themselves in between those exhales, and we'll do 2 sets of this. So begin. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a breath. In our second set, we'll do it a little bit quicker. Okay? Big inhale. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Go ahead and lay down, head towards the back. Final Shavasana here. Had that last big push of energy with the breath right before final relaxation. So come down into it. Notice how you feel. Relax and let go. You worked hard in this last hour, and now is the time to reap rewards of that practice.